Hello, beautiful humans. Happy Money Magic Thursday. How is everybody? Hi, Ginger. It's so good to see you. I'm just going to pop off the chat really quick. Good morning. Heather, I just saw your stuff in Money Magic, so I just said, hey, I'll respond after the call. But that's amazing. I love it, and I love how much it's just like perfectly aligning with like the stuff that we've been working on in the membership. So I love that. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix this because it's really sunny back there. Yeah, it's crazy. I love it. I love how much just things are shifting, and I went back and watched some old videos, and just I've also been adding. Good morning, Ginger. It's so good to see you. Adding all of my testimonials and client wins, and just honestly, guys, like sometimes, like when I feel out of touch with my business, I go and do that, and then it like gives me this energy of, oh my gosh, my business, like just if you guys ever have like some sort of slump and you have like client wins or testimonials, go back through that, keep them in a folder, or just nice things that people say, because it really does give you this like charge. So yeah, I love that. And so yeah, it's been really good. And today we're talking about nervous system. We're going to do a really cool hypnosis protocol called the control room, and it's going to be super, super powerful. But the first, before we do that, I want to jump into nervous system regulation and what that means in my world, and why we're talking about it, and how you can know where your nervous system is. because it's coming up so much with myself. I've been on this crazy journey, and I kind of went back and forth about how much I was going to tell you guys about my journey, because I was really struggling with my mental health. But I feel like part of this work is to give this work to people, but to also let you guys know that you're not alone. And I know that my clients and my business is a mirror. And if I'm dealing with this, other people are dealing with this. And since I've been feeling better, I actually am kind of on the upswing now, because we figured out what was wrong and what was causing it. And I actually put together, Heather, I've been telling Heather, I've been putting together this coach's nervous system toolkit forever, and it's finally done. And I'll just keep adding resources. So I'll add that for you guys. I'll actually be selling it, but I'm going to add it for free for you guys. My intention is to create this membership and just over deliver to you guys, so this work can be as accessible to as many people as possible. So I'm going to add that to you guys, and it's going to be everything from books to read, to nutritional therapists that you can reach out to my tapping and my bilateral stimulation protocols, loop earplugs that I use when I'm feeling very on edge, just all the things that you would need to regulate your nervous system. Because the truth is, if we're not regulating ourselves and we're running in that high cortisol, high adrenaline, we're going to burn out our adrenals, and we're going to not allow ourselves to receive and hold, because of fear of burnout in your brain flagging it as something being wrong, right? And so I just want to tell you a little bit about my journey with that, if that's okay with you guys, because I want to tell it in story form to see if it resonates with any of you all. And it may and it may not, and that's okay. But even if my story doesn't resonate, as women, and there's a reason why, I have guys ask me to join this group all the time, and I feel like I just want to keep it women for this reason. And who knows, that may change, or maybe I create a different group, I don't know, but I feel like there is a lot of stuff about just being women and menstrual health and cyclical changes, and bringing that into our business, I think, is really powerful. So sorry, I'm just going to look at the chat really quick while we're doing this. And yeah, let's see. Good morning, fine, yes, hello, good morning. I'm in a taxi on my way to WeWork. Okay, yeah, no worries at all. Yes. Yeah, no worries at all. I'm never worried about it. You guys know what's best for you, and you'll show up and join live if and when it feels right for you. So no worries there, but thank you so much for letting me know. Okay, so so when we go into the hypnosis, if you guys would feel comfortable and safe to keep your cameras on, that would be amazing, because it just helps me gauge where you guys are at in your process. But I'm never going to tell you have to have your camera on, just FYI there. And at the beginning, when I'm talking about nervous system regulation and how I see it show up in our businesses and how I see it show up, myself, no, we're not doing any process. You don't have to have your camera on if you don't want to. Okay, so basically, a lot of you know that I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which is a autoimmune disorder. And as it turns out, I don't actually have ulcerative colitis. That's the way it's manifesting. But what I do have is copper toxicity, which not most, but a lot of women have. And it creates severe anxiety and nervous system dysregulation. And then it also causes gut issues that then causes hormonal imbalances. So that's what I've been dealing with. I've actually known that I've had copper toxicity for about, I found that out when I was living in Korea 9 years ago. So I've known about this, and it's a long process. You have to work with nutritional therapists that actually know what they're doing to chelate that out of your system. The copper toxicity is a real thing, especially for women. It can be passed down epigenetically from your mom. So if you're really anxious and your mom's really anxious and your grandmother's anxious, that's why it's an epigenetic thing. So it's also epigenetically passed down, but also learned as well, because you're learning from a line that feels anxious. Also birth control, pregnancy, miscarriages. There's a lot of things that women go through that create that. So for me, it was just looping in this circle that would just create such crazy intense anxiety and depression that I couldn't function for about 10 days out of the month. And I didn't track that it was cyclical until about 6 months ago, when I was like, oh my God, this happens. And my ulcerative colitis symptoms happen every month. And no, you do hair tissue mineral analysis, and I'm going to have people that I recommend that I found to work with in that coach's toolbox that I'm telling you about. There's 3 people that are a nutritional therapist. One of them, I think, does have a background in medicine, but they're basically nutritional diagnostic, you know. And they do root cause analysis with hair tissue mineral analysis. And the reason that that is so powerful is because, first of all, things show up differently there versus on blood. There's a reason why on blood work, a lot of times we'll get blood work done and your doctor will be like, I don't know why you feel weird, everything looks fine. And there's some real gaslighting happening in the medical community right now. And imagine, 40% of people, and I think probably even a little bit more, have suicidal ideation when they have PMDD. That's what I was diagnosed with, premenstrual dysphoric disorder. So insane, like intense emotions, insane depression and anxiety, like to the point where I couldn't even have a conversation. I didn't want to leave my house for about 10 days out of the month. And then I got super depressed because I was like, I can't keep up with my business. I'm not showing up like I should. And I was being so hard on myself, all to find out that it really could just be simple as getting my micronutrients in. It's just micronutrients. It blew my mind how much that was a problem. So when you have copper toxicity, it depletes stuff like zinc and magnesium, which you need to have a healthy nervous system. It just blows my mind. You can Google copper toxicity. So anyways, so all that to say that you guys may not resonate with my story, but if you ever feel like, okay, I'm doing all the energetic work and I'm still not showing up, or I still have anxiety, or I still struggle with this X, Y, and Z, there's probably a nutritional imbalance there. And you can have too much of a certain nutrient and you can have too little. So basically, when we balance out our micronutrients is what they're called. So it's zinc, magnesium, B vitamins, all of that. What happens is that you then have the cellular energy to actually regulate your nervous system. That's why a lot of times people will come into my world and they'll basically, I'll have these deep sessions with them and it changes their life. But sometimes these like copper toxicity or nervous system dysregulation stuff comes back because there's a nutritional imbalance. And I say this not, I don't do this work. This doesn't benefit me, but because I feel like I have an obligation to share my story in case it does resonate, because I'm not kidding. I'm taking a $50 supplement right now, which I'll also share with you guys in the toolkit, that has literally changed my life. I've been taking it for about a month. It'll be a month next week. And I feel like a new person. I feel like I did 15 years ago. All from a nutritional supplement, and it has no herbs or anything. It's literally just micronutrients. That's it. It could have just been this simple all along, right? And I think you guys, like, even like my team and my coach and stuff are like, wow, you feel different. I'm like, I feel different, right? And I had just been so hard on myself. So just full permission that if you ever feel like this and you feel like I'm doing all the things and it's not working and I feel so stressed out and overwhelmed, like that's another one. I would get into overwhelm and stress out, and then I would go into freeze mode. Yes, that's nervous system stuff. Yes, that's also trauma related, and also nutrients. I don't think it's one thing or the other. I think it's a blend. We could make that argument, chicken or the egg, who knows? But I do know that the more that you're stressed out, the more that you're going to deplete your micronutrients, that's going to loop you back into it. Right? So I want to share this with you guys. This doesn't benefit me in any way. I just love you guys and want to make sure that you guys are feeling your best so that you can show up and do amazing things in your business and have the life that you desire, right? And so that's why we're doing this nervous system work. So a few things. Yeah, right. So please share the resources if it feels aligned. And even like, just like, a lot of people like Dr. Sarah Godfrey, for those of you that don't know who she is, she was on the Huberman Lab podcast. She has a hormone, mostly specifically in women that are perimenopausal or menopausal. But she was a 2-time Ivy League trained MD doctor who has a background in hormone health and OBGYN as well. And I want to say something else. And then got into functional medicine, which what I'm talking about, nutritional therapy, falls into the category of functional medicine, and has a really holistic approach. So she's the one that first got me onto this. And then I ended up finding a nutritional therapist to work with one-on-one. But she talks a lot about how PMS symptoms aren't normal, how these really bad menopause symptoms aren't normal, and that we don't, as women, do not have to deal with it if we have the right micronutrients. So just a little rundown with that. The other thing that I want to talk about is how you know if your nervous system's dysregulated. So if you get overwhelmed to the point where you don't know what way is up, like you're kind of going into freeze, that's a dysregulation. If you tend to just shut down, if you tend to sleep a lot, if you notice yourself isolating, if you just notice this feeling. So I want to differentiate right now the difference between anxiety in your brain versus in your body. I spent years Googling this because I would tell my doctors that you're giving me these anxiety meds and it's not in my brain, it's in my body. That is a copper toxicity thing. And it's also a nervous system regulation. Guys, when I say nervous system, that is how your brain and body communicate. It encompasses a lot of things. Your spinal cord, all your nerve endings, but it's literally your nervous system, right? And so that's why when people talk about like the vagus nerve and like toning the vagus nerve, that helps. But it only goes so far if you have nutritional imbalances, right? So also, if you go into numbing or positive toxicity, like everything is burning, everything is wrong, and you're just like neutral. To have a healthy, regulated nervous system, you want to be able to go up and down based on what's happening around you. So for example, when I have things that used to take me out of game, they would stress me out so bad that I would just go into freeze mode. I would go to sleep. I wouldn't respond to messages. I was just so overwhelmed all the time because I was running on it felt like somebody hit a button that just said like, oh my God, like I'm on overdrive and I can't get it off, right? But the other side of that is freeze, which is going to be in dorsal mode, like you've got different levels of your nervous system. So like dorsal is going to be freeze, but you know that you're in freeze when everything always just feels chill. And the thing with this is there's a very nuanced thing because you will hear me say over and over again, everything should feel neutral. And that is true, except when somebody walks up to you and puts a gun in your face and you're just like, eh. Or, somebody's like, I literally don't have a place to live. Like these things that should bother you and you're just like, eh, right? And so that's a good way like to show you that something's not quite right, that your nervous system isn't flexible. Your nervous system should never be even all the time. It's flexible and it comes back to homeostasis, which is the center, right? So a good example of this, and so I have a client right now, a private client, who's blowing my freaking mind. Came into my world. Literally, we had our first session together and she signed a 25K client the next day. And that is double what she had been, more than double than what she had been charging. And it was funny because we had actually had sessions before, and it was so interesting to see where her nervous system state was before versus where it's at now. So before, when we did it, we were doing deep healing work and she had trauma, so she was going a lot into freeze mode. So anytime I would say, how does this feel in your body, how does this feel in your body, she'd be like 10 10 10 10 10, or everything feels neutral. And I knew that wasn't the case because, guys, I'm going to be very clear with you. You can look at like my data on this. If you do this work and your brain and body is on board and in alignment with all the things that I teach you, there's no way, I've never seen it once in hundreds of clients that didn't get what they wanted. This work is that powerful. So that's why we're talking about this piece, is like, if you're not getting what you want or you're not sustaining it, it might be this piece of the puzzle, right? So, but we were talking yesterday, and we're going to be doing a live next week on my Instagram about this crazy powerful, like and then she had somebody else drop in like the next day and want to work with her at 25K. It's like blowing our minds, like my people that hired me as mentors make a lot more money than I do. It's hilarious. It's almost like comical at this point. That's why I hired people to teach my process too, so I can experience it. And so for her, because I am trauma trained and I did have a background in, and I say did because I don't no longer want to identify as somebody who had trauma, because I feel like I'm a new person and I don't need to identify as that person anymore, but I did have severe trauma when I was younger. And so for me, because I'm trauma trained and I have a background in a lot of different therapeutic modalities, on top of like clinical hypnosis, but I'm also certified in cognitive behavioral therapy and, studied under a psychotherapist for a year and got a year-long coaching certification in transformational coaching. Like I'm trauma trained. Like I have a lot of therapeutic modalities as well as NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, hypnosis, clinical hypnosis, and all of that. So I have a lot of varied experience. So for me, watching her, when we were doing deep healing work, go into freeze, and in her brain, she was like, oh, I'm not in freeze, I'm just in alignment with everything, but could never get what she wanted. And then coming back around, she's done the work long enough where I let her into my mentorship. I'm shifting the way I work with clients, and my mentorship is going to be like a lot high level and not doing so much of the deeper work. And that's what shifted for her, is that she regulated her nervous system, and she did that work where she no longer needed the deeper healing work. So she could come in and literally just do the brain body alignment. So if you're doing this brain body alignment over and over again, and what you are working towards is what you actually desire, you're not doing it out of ego, not doing it out of, oh my God, I should have this. I should have a 20K, 5K client. Like right now, I don't desire to have a 25K client because my nervous system couldn't hold a 25K cash pay in full client. It just couldn't. Like I just got paid 12K cash and was like having to like sit with that in my body and be like, how does this feel? Does this feel safe? Does this feel naturally normal? Right? So you can only quantum leap and go as fast as your nervous system will let you. And your nervous system is the nutritional part and the part that we're going to do today. Does anyone have any questions about that? And if you guys do, you can drop them here or you can drop them in Heartbeat, but just make sure that you are paying attention. Do you feel safe to slow down? Do you feel safe to listen to your intuition? Do you feel safe to be radically okay with where you are while striving to be better and not needing to consistently do bigger and better each month so you're like burning your business to the ground? Can you just be okay with where you are? Like really think about this. I have a client who I helped get a 25K client literally one day after our first mentorship call. And she credits me with that. Like you'll see if you go and look at my Instagram profile, like she'll talk about that. And I literally charge her half. Right now, my mentorship is 12K. That's insane. And I won't move it until my body feels regulated around it. And that's, again, the nutritional work and this type of work that we're going to do today. And in between calls, anything like tapping and stuff like that. So I hope that resonates with you guys. If not, you can be like, Farron, you're crazy, whatever. But you may know somebody. As women, I've talked with 3 of my best friends in the past few months the past month since I've been working with nutritional therapists and taking this supplement. And when I went to talk to them, I think we all knew that something was going on, but we didn't really know the severity of it. And all 3 of my friends have been dealing with something very similar, and we don't talk about it enough as women, talk about our struggles with stuff like this. So I just want this to be a safe place to do that if that lands and resonates. So does anybody have any questions or have anything to say about their ability to regulate their nervous system, for your nervous system to be really flexible and really like safe, to be like, it's okay to get stressed out, but then come back to safety where you're not swimming in that really high level cortisol and adrenaline for so long afterwards? Yeah, of course. I'll get you that information. I'm gonna post it in the coach's toolkit. So it will be in, I haven't decided if I should put it in, like, maybe I'll make a new tab for it. I'm trying to figure out, because I'm building out the membership to create more trainings and more resources for you guys. So I'm still trying to figure out how I want to navigate that. But I'll make sure to add everybody. So if you guys have questions or whatever, let me know. Okay. All right. So now we are going to dive into a hypnosis protocol. And it's really, really powerful, and I'm really excited to do it with you guys. And then I think next week we're going to do some tapping, because I love to mix all the modalities to make sure that we're hitting all levels and all angles of everything. That's why, you know, my clients do get the results they get, because I'm always making sure to hit it from all the different angles, right? The name for what you have hormonally. Yeah. So PMDD, it's premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And the supplement, I'll put it in the document as well. And the supplement is like Mira, like MAREA. PMS support is what it's called. It's a powder. It's this crazy bright yellow powder. It's $50 a month, which I think a lot of people are like, oh my God, that's so expensive. But I'm like, for me, to have my sanity back and to hold my business to the level that I know I can and should, priceless. So that's just my 2 cents on it. You have your own autonomy of what's right for you. But I do think that as far as menstrual health and hormonal health goes, a lot of times I think people are like, oh, I'm out of my menstruating years. Maybe I don't need that support. And if you're still dealing with these symptoms, there's still an imbalance even after, menopause or perimenopausal or whatever. So just FYI on that, right? That's what I thought, but I've definitely mentioned it to people and be like, oh, that's kind of expensive. And I'm like, that's so cheap. And it's 15 or 16 micronutrients, and they're all created by doctors and nutritionists, like they came together and made something very bioavailable, which is why it's powder. And just if you just go through and read the testimonials and reviews, like people will be like, I was taking all these supplements separately and still weren't getting the results. It's the way that they've combined them and the different types of like for example, one magnesium versus a different type will be more bioavailable and help you with different things, right? One might be for more bone health, one might be more for like nervous system and like nerve health, like those types of things. It's a very well made supplement, and also just their community for just getting the word out about menstrual health, I think is really also powerful. I got nervous about an event and calmed down and asked myself what the message was. Good, yeah. And of course, like there is this side of it. I'm not saying that everybody is dysregulated because of micronutrients imbalances, but if you think about it, I mean, our soil is depleted. We used to be more outdoor creatures, so when we would sweat, we not only were we outdoor creatures, but we also didn't shower as much. So the theory behind that is that we would actually absorb those micronutrients back into our body. Something like magnesium is actually absorbed through the skin. So when you're sweating something out like magnesium, you don't shower right away, it actually absorbs back in. Right? So I think nutritionally deficient, any of us living in countries where we're drinking Bataillon water, which is reverse osmosis, and there's no nutritional value, there's no hydrational value. There is data that the majority of people, but women in particular, are severely dehydrated, which then causes you to lose these micronutrients. So I think everybody could benefit from this, like even if you don't have, PMDD, even if you just are moody around your cycle, I think everybody should take it. But that's just my 2 cents. So anyways, are we ready for hypnosis? Yeah, right, I know. Like high quality B vitamins, magnesium. I think there's zinc. I mean, there's like 15 different ones, but there's no herbs. It's all like nutritional. What am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but there's no herbs. There's nothing that's going to change things. It's just giving you the nutrients to balance things out. All right, so let's dive into. I'm gonna like calm down because I'm like all jazzed about this conversation, and I want to take you guys into hypnosis from a very regulated place, right? So I'm just going to give you guys time to just set your intention. So just knowing that this protocol that we're going into is very much around going back to regulation, which is safety in the body. And the more safety we can cultivate within our body, the more safety that we can cultivate with holding money, the more that we will allow ourselves to experience it. And that's kind of the intention behind this, right? So to really ground in, I'm going to walk you through a grounding in practice, but just knowing that that's kind of what we're getting into, that this is about money as well. It's about safety, it's about empowerment, it's about abundance, right? So setting your intention, I think intentions are really powerful. And I'm just going to book the protocol and get started. And if you feel good, you don't have to, but if you feel good, you can turn on your cameras. It just helps me guide or gauge where everybody is, but you don't have to. If you can't or you don't want to, that's totally fine. Okay. So just drop it in the chat maybe if you guys are ready, or just nod your head yes. Just so you show me, but you're also signaling to your body and your levels of consciousness that you're ready for change, right? And so make sure that when I guide you through this process, I'm going to ask you to do things with your hands. I'm going to ask you to do things. Make sure that you actually do it. Guys, I'm sure a lot of you know, maybe you don't, about the lemon test. If I ask you to hold your hand out and I ask you to imagine, like do this right now, like hold your hand out, imagine there's a lemon in your hand and it's cut into quarters and it's dripping into your hand. Now take one of the quarters and start putting, I didn't even put it in my mouth yet, and my mouth is watering, but there's no lemon. So this is why when I ask you guys to do things, to actually do it, because your body will respond to your imagination. Your imagination with childlike curiosity is so powerful, and people do not talk about this enough. Play, like, and the client that just signed this 25K client, that's one thing that she'll tell you is bringing more play into her business model was a big part of that. We get to have fun and be successful and make the money we desire without making it so like perfectionist, like everything has to be perfect, everything has to be right. We just get to be messy and sloppy and human and still make the money we desire with a lot of play, right? Okay, all right, let's do this. So all I want you to do is I just want you to close your eyes and take a nice gentle breath in as I guide you through this process. Breathe in, hold it, exhale, relax. And just focus now on your breathing. Notice how every gentle breath in becomes a gentle breath out. And I'll guide you through a peaceful self-hypnosis technique. Because as you listen and follow along, you'll realize that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So just continue with the breathing for just a minute. So on the next gentle exhale, when you're ready, I want you to relax your jaw. Just ever so slightly, your jaw, so that your teeth separate just a little bit. You might notice a shift in your body. And notice that gentle feeling of relaxation beginning to soak in. So as you sink into the surface beneath you, and now on the next gentle exhale, whenever you're ready, drop your shoulders, hold them back. Simply allow your shoulders to let go and sink down into softening and relaxing the muscles of the neck and shoulders. You're doing so. And on the next gentle exhale, relax the muscles in your chest and in your stomach. Noticing the peace in this moment, here and now. Noticing a feeling of safety and calm. Marking to your, well, all levels of your consciousness, what it feels like to be present, safe in your body. And with each breath, you have a sense of releasing tension with each exhale. Breathing in peace, and then breathing out as more tension disappears. Now, as you simply inhale peace, exhale peace. As you choose to let go of thoughts that might be bouncing around, just be here. As you relax and enjoy this experience, let's hear from you. Because this is your time to experience the perfect state for perfect change. As your unconscious makes all the necessary adjustments that allows you to regulate your nervous system, for your nervous system to become healthy and flexible. Because when we work on regulating our nervous system, it feels safe to experience more money, safe to hold, safe to have bigger businesses, safe to be in front of you. And know that from today on, by feeling safe in your body with large amounts of money, you will thrive with your relationship with money, thrive in your business, day and every day. And I'd like you to imagine you're wearing a pair of comfortable realistic virtual reality glasses. These glasses allow you to discover the power of the brain-body connection, so you can make any necessary adjustments. These glasses allow you to easily see anything you want to see, and they guide you to intuitively know how to imagine. That's all. Simply just imagine, making all the adjustments that are appropriate for you to solve the things you've been wanting to solve today, in this moment. I'll show you how these virtual reality glasses work in a moment. Not yet, but in a moment. I'm going to ask you to think the words blue flower to yourself. And when you do, notice the way the glasses show you a blue flower. It's important to know that every single one of you will experience the idea of a blue flower in a uniquely beautiful way. So however your VR glasses show you a blue flower, you can trust that it's the perfect experience for you, the perfect change, perfect state for perfect change. So now simply think the words blue flower. Notice what you notice about that flower. However you experience it, you might see it, you might feel it, you might just have a remembrance. Just know that however you experience it, it's perfect for you. Maybe you notice the distinct and unique shade of pink, the intricacy of the colors. Perhaps noticing subtle or even striking variations in color throughout the various colors. You may choose to gently touch the colors, noticing what other colors are present on the flower. Lean in and inhale the pleasing aroma of this flower. Allow yourself to feel gratitude for its beauty. Now in a moment, I'm going to demonstrate the power of your thoughts and your words, because in a moment, I'm going to ask you to change the color of that flower simply by thinking of a new color. So as you observe that flower, allow a new color to come to mind. I'll let you choose. I'll let you choose the color. Say the name of that color in your mind now. And you observe that flower morphing into that color. That's right. Allowing it to happen at the speed of love. You don't have to do anything. Just trust that it's happening. And say the following words to yourself. And notice how the flower responds to your words. Yellow, orange, red, purple. And you can imagine that the flower has rainbow petals, each one a different color, for each petal shimmering and swirling with various colors. You don't know what your flower looks like, smells like, or feels like, because you are having a unique experience that your kind, loving, unconscious mind knows that you need. So just allow yourself to feel gratitude now. With the brain-body connection, lets you direct your unconscious mind to make changes at the speed of thought. And now I'd like you to imagine that you're standing on the edge of a vast field that's filled with these flowers. The colors morphing, changing, glowing beautifully in the peaceful breeze. As you observe the peaceful scene, you notice a sign at the edge of the field. As you move closer, you realize it's not a sign. It's actually a box with the words flower control room written on it. You open the door. You see various levers and dials and switches. One of the dials can spin to create different colors. And with curiosity, you turn the dial to the yellow setting. notice the entire field of flowers turns yellow. You switch to orange. The entire field becomes orange. You intuitively know what color you want to choose over them. A color that represents safety in your body to move. What color do you experience as safety in your body, nervous system? And now putting that setting in place again. Changing the setting to safety and regulation. And just observe how quickly the entire field of flowers responds to your act of changing that setting. Watch those flowers swaying gently in the breeze. Feel the peace that comes from simply observing the power of your brain-body connection. Look back to the control box and notice, without touching, a switch called Flower Safety. Moment, when you flip that switch, you will notice that field of flowers flourishing and thriving. Perhaps the flowers will grow a little taller. Perhaps the colors will become even more vibrant. Or maybe the aroma will become even more pleasing. So go ahead and flip that flower safety switch to on. And notice how that field of flowers immediately responds to your childlike imagination. That's right. You are able to use your imagination to change your life. So now, you close the control box, you reach into your pocket, and you discover that you have the key to seal this box shut so that the flower safety switch remains on. And it remains on from now on, from this point forward. So you put the key in the lock, you turn it until you hear and feel it click into place. Then return the key safely to your pocket, where you know you will always have it with you from now. In a moment, not yet, but in a moment, I'm going to ask you to keep your eyes closed and remain in this relaxed state, but bring your hand to your eyes as if you were moving the VR glasses. So actually do this, bringing your hand up to your face and removing those VR glasses. Even though we're deeply relaxed, you'll be able to easily lift your hand and remove those glasses. Then, with eyes still closed, allow the glasses to fall to the floor and your hand to relax down into your lap. Go ahead, with eyes closed, lift your hand to your eyes and remove those VR glasses. Allow them to fall to the floor as your hand falls peacefully down to your lap, as you relax twice as deeply as before. And I wonder, realize that you just removed the virtual reality glasses that were keeping you from seeing your power. That old perception that was keeping you stuck in the problem you thought you had, because now you can see clearly and fully understand exactly how to use your powerful brain-body connection to find freedom from whatever used to hold you back from experiencing the safety in your body, from knowing and embodying your own power, and from the abundance you desire. So now, with this fresh perspective, from this deeply relaxed, peaceful, and serene place, I would like you to imagine you're lovingly and kindly looking at your body in full length here and now. Notice your posture. Notice your facial expression staring back at you in the mirror. You become aware, perhaps for the first time, of the innate beauty of the things that you once judged as wrong or bad. Think to yourself the word power. But this is healthy integrated power. It's empowerment. And you notice the way that your body begins to shift and adjust and align with that word, power. It just shifts and adjusts and aligns with the speed of thought. And as you observe this reflection, this external representation of your empowerment and your innate worthiness, I would like you to imagine that you see your hands begin to glow with a light. And this light, the color of this light, represents empowerment to you, whatever color that may be. What color represents empowerment? See it now. Feel it radiating from your palms and your fingertips. You have a sense that anything you touch will become the same energy as the power and worthiness that you've always just forgotten. And you do this in the perfect way that's just right for you. Remember, you can only do it right. As you look in the mirror, bring your empowered and worthiness charged hands to your chest, and you feel that power coursing through your body now, spreading into every cell, every neuron, every atom, noticing that any feelings or sensations that indicate the changes that are already begin to set into motion. Feel that gratitude in your body now. Tell your body, thank you. Thank you for responding so quickly, so beautifully, and thoroughly. Your childlike imagination and intention to be powerful in a heart-centered way and to remember your inherent worthiness. And now imagine that the essence of you, the wisest, highest part of you, is looking at the control box of your body. You notice various levers and dials and switches. Realize that some of the settings are out of kilter, but that's okay because you bring your attention to the one large switch labeled money. Don't touch it just yet, because when you do, it will allow every other lever and dial and switch to automatically click in to the correct position for money, for abundance. So go ahead, reach out and flip the switch on for money. And notice the sights, the sounds, the feelings, and all the various levers and dials and switches automatically click into the exact right place, as if a cooperative symphony of synchronicities allowing all the systems and organs of your body, known and unknown, to click into the right place for you to have an optimal relationship with money. Experience abundance now, what that feels like in your body. That's right. Now reach in your pocket, find the key to money, insert that key into the box, hear it and feel it click into the locked position, knowing that you have locked in the setting for your relationship with money to prosper from this day forward. Say thank you. Thank you for the changes that have taken place. As you put the key securely back into your pocket, knowing that this is yours from now on. Now notice 3 more control boxes marked mental health, emotional health, and spiritual health. You open the mental health box, flip the mental health switch to the on position. Notice the clicking and whirling and all the knobs, levers, and dials and switches moving into the exact right place, working together immediately to implement your unique individual blueprint for optimal mental health. As you say thank you. Thank you. To your essence, to your highest wisdom, to the highest part of you for flipping that switch into perfect position. Now reach into your pocket Find the key to mental health and insert that key into the box. Hear it, feel it, click into place, into the locked position, knowing that you have locked in the setting for mental. Move to the box marked emotional health. Now marveling at the immediate impact of your childlike imagination, intention, and self-talk, you reach out and you flip on the switch for emotional health. Sigh and relief as comfort as you observe all the levelers, dials, and switches clicking into place according to your unique blueprint for joyful emotional health. Take the key and the lock, and knowing that these changes are locked into place, turn it as it clicks into locked position. Know that from this moment forward, as you thrive in physical, mental, and emotional health, feel that gratitude in your body now. Say the words, thank you. Thank you to yourself, and notice how your body responds to those powerful words. And now, with great anticipation, you move to the box marked spiritual health. You realize that the spiritual health you're about to lock in is exactly what you've been looking for. This allows you to experience peace, feel gratitude, and become deeply aware of your okayness in this moment, in every moment. You are okay. In fact, you're more than okay. You are safe. You are powerful, and you are worthy. Worthy of everything that you desire, with the most ease and most love. So you open the spiritual box, flip the spiritual health switch into the on position, observe the clicking and whirling into place, all the various levers, dials, and switches. Feel the relief of those changes in your body now. Allow a sigh of relief that lets you sink even deeper into peaceful relaxation. Experience spiritual health that lets you know all is well here. I'm safe, I am powerful, I am worthy, and it is good. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. Find the key marked spiritual health, insert it into the lock, hear and feel the lock click into place in a way that lets you know, the way that it lets you really know that spiritual health is yours from now on. Place the key back into your pocket, knowing that all the keys are safely in your possession so that you can make these changes at the speed of thought by simply thinking health. Just as you created a blue flower in your mind by thinking blue flower, you now create health in the body, in the mind, in the emotions, and spirit by simply thinking, I am. So now look through the eyes of love at your body in the mirror in front of you once more. Notice the physical health. Notice the emotional health, the spiritual health, the mental health. Smile. Hold your hands to your heart. Say, thank you. And those words cause you to bring awareness to your fingers and your toes in a way that makes you want to wiggle fingers and toes, noticing your body waking up to the sensations of health and energy. So in a moment, in just a moment, I'll count from 1 to 5. With each number up, you'll feel more and more revitalized. On 5, your eyes will open and you'll feel wide awake, refreshed, and alert. Because 1 can always come back to the surface, feeling 3 times better. Then be 4, feeling wide awake and revitalized with eyes wide open. 5. Welcome back, guys. There was some shifts there. I saw some shifting. Well, for those of you that had your camera on. I hope this was helpful. Guys, when we do this type of work, it takes a few days up to a few weeks to properly integrate it. So don't expect, like, you might see stuff right now, but give yourself space and time to integrate. You may feel tired, you may feel like you need a nap, you may just be like, wow, I just want to go take a walk. Whatever feels right for you, or you get some, I feel very tired. Oh, you may just want to have a tea. Just listen to what your body and all levels of your consciousness is telling you that you need. So I hope this was helpful. Oh, I'm so glad. Let me know how it goes. Heather, I will be responding to your amazing stuff in Money Magic. And yeah, you guys let me know if you need anything. And if not, I will see you guys all next week. So much love to you.